Welcome to the first ever episode of ILA on Air. I'm Anastasia, CEO and co-founder of ILA Law, and we're bringing to you short, sharp property education from experts in the industry. We have an incredible network of brokers, solicitors, lenders, surveyors, you name it, we have it. And we wanted to bring their expertise to our community in making the complicated simple, which is something we love at ILA. So it's 20 minutes, one cup of tea, and you're up to speed. And today, I'm joined by my good friend, Sam Norris.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you for joining us. And today we're going to be speaking about broker best practices. I can't think of a better person than Sam to talk about this because he has 18 years experience in the property finance industry and runs an incredibly well-known and established brokerage called Grand Union. So I want you to hit me up with the juicy gossip to start with and tell me the bad broker practices that you've seen in your experience.
Right, we're going straight in.
Yeah, in the deep end.
We're going in the deep end with the bad stuff. Yeah, do you know what? Like our industry is, unfortunately, because I want it to be better. Some people say, isn't it good that other brokers aren't going to the same level of standards that you would want to hit? I'm like, no, just we want everyone to be good. We want the whole industry to rise up. I think a lot of it comes down to things that go on behind the scenes that clients won't necessarily know, and I know we lose out to a lot of other brokers when we do the right thing, and maybe they won't do to the same kind of level that we would do. The biggest one, I'm going to go in with literally the one that annoys me the most. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but it really pisses me off.
Yeah,
it grinds my gears.
Grinds my effing gears.
Grinds my gears. It's bridging finance research, right? How do you find the right bridging lender for somebody? And you know what? I speak to lenders all the time about this, and I get their number, and you'll understand what I mean by their number in a sec. So I'm going to tell you how we do it, and then I'm going to tell you how loads of other brokers in the industry do it. I've never, ever, ever on any kind of recording, I tell people in private, but I've never revealed this in a recording. So when we speak to a client, we have to properly understand what they need, why they need it, what's the best product for them, how we're going to go about doing it. We need to know everything, inside leg measurement, the works. The more we know, the better we can advise, right? So we will take all that information. We will create a funding proposal. We have a spreadsheet that we fill out. It gives every single piece of information that a lender's going to need, a bridging lender's going to need to not only say, yes, we want to fund this deal, but also to give them the comfort that it's actually going to go ahead, and also give them enough information for them to go to their credit teams and provide us with credit-backed terms, okay? So we'll include things in there like a CV of the client, the borrower, details of the property, a Google Maps link so that they can actually go to Street View and have a look at the property. If it's the borrowing entity is a limited company, we'll include a link to company's house. Just make it easier. If there's a group structure in place, we'll provide a little bit of commentary on that. We give them everything they need so they can quickly go off and go, right, we want to do this deal, want to fund this deal. We're giving them the confidence as well because there's a nice bit of information in there. And they'll come back to us at the quickest response we've ever had is 16 minutes off a lender, credit back terms.
Can I ask a quick question for anybody? Because this podcast is for people from just starting out all the way up to like proper experience level. And I really I find a lot of podcasts kind of going at such high level. What's the difference between credit back terms and non-credit back terms?
It's basically like a decision in principle.
Right.
But imagine getting a decision in principle for a mortgage without the lender even looking at it.
And some brokers can get a non-credit back term and give it to their client and be like, look, I did it for you. And it won't be.
Or a lot of lenders will provide terms no matter what level of detail they get from a broker. But if the information isn't correct, then then they're not worth the paper they're written on.
And then later it will go to credit, and credit might say that doesn't pass because you haven't given us enough information to start with. So this is why this could be bad practice.
Exactly.
Right.
So this is what I believe, and I'd like to think I don't have any kind of numbers on how many people do this or percentages or anything, but I know through 18 years of doing this job, working with a load of brokers, that this is still going on today to quite a high level. Most brokers will send an email with some really basic information on it, like not even the client's name, the borrower's name, just some basic figures, and they will copy in the most ridiculous number of lenders. Sometimes they won't even bother blind copying them in. They'll literally just copy
post about this,
and they'll just do it, right? And then they'll say, who wants to do this?
Yeah.
So recently, I was talking to I won't name lenders because that's probably unfair, but because they're talking to me in confidence. But I've had one sales director at a lender say they had their record recently beaten, which was 67 lenders copied into one email. Another very well-known lender had 123 or something different email addresses, all presumably lenders. I'm sure they didn't go through and check which one of those 123, but they did count them up because they were like, "This is ridiculous."
Lazy, isn't it?
It's lazy. And then if you're a broker and you're charging a fee for that level of work, like in my mind, right, I'm a client and I now figure out that this is what a lot of brokers are doing, right? I'm then going, okay, right, number one, like, where's my fee going? Like, why am I paying you 1% of the loan amount, which is pretty average for bridging? Why is that happening? Secondly, if you're this lazy when it comes to doing this, what happens if the shit hits the fan during the course of the application? Like, where are you going to be then? Probably nowhere to be seen. So when I need you most, you're not going to be there.
Yeah, and I think in this podcast, when we spoke about what you were going to kind of bring, because you have so many different expertise you could bring, and this was really interesting because in it as well, I think it was like good and bad practices that affect the client, lenders, and like your general relationship. So how, not only is that going to really piss off the client, how is that affecting the lenders?
Oh, mate, honestly, like, so this
lenders
is,
don't like that, I guess.
It's exactly the same thing. I wrote a post recently, which was, I did it just after World Kindness Day, which was about like how we have kindness and best practices within our organization, which is kind to each other, kind to clients, kind to lenders.
Yeah.
So the other week, and this will go into another thing that happens behind the closed doors, because this is something that lenders hate, is, do you know how many brokers are really, really comfortable picking up the phone and talking to somebody at a lender and shouting and screaming and swearing down the phone to them?
I say really, I get that at ILA sometimes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So,
it blows my mind. Yeah.
So I was driving back from Brighton last week, and a bridging lender, again, won't name them, went ever so slightly back on something that they had promised at the beginning of the process. And I think it was, but I like to take a back step, go, right, okay, what was the reason for this? No one wants to be a dick on purpose. No one wants to do a bad job on purpose. Maybe not those brokers I just mentioned, but like everyone wants to try and do a really good job, right? So I thought to myself, okay, he hasn't done this on purpose, so why would I shout at him? So I pick up the phone, hi mate, right, so just want to pick up on one particular point here. This was actually a real big selling point for us with the client, and you've kind of alluded to the fact that this is how this is going to work. I've got it in black and white, and now you're saying you can't do it. Now, I just want to get an understanding of why that is. And towards the end of it, we just started, because we're mates, you know, I know him really well. We were having a conversation. He's just like, do you know how many other brokers, if I'd done that, would have literally like screamed down the phone at me? I had a mortgage lender last year. They instructed the wrong valuation by accident. I needed a commercial val on an HMO. They basically got Connells to go. Babe, I think that the valuer probably wet themselves when they arrived and went, oh, HMO. And yeah, she called me, but we got sort of about 10 minutes into the call, and I was like, right, cool, you know, how are we going to work together? How are we going to sort this out? She'd already practically gone and sorted out behind the scenes. She apologized, admin error, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. I was like, right, cool, wicked. I appreciate you telling me. Obviously a bit of a delay. You know, I know you're going to take a bit of a financial hit for the client, all that kind of stuff. So I'll report that back. And she was like, Sam, like, I literally was sitting by the phone for half an hour, like building up the courage to call you because I thought you were going to absolutely like lay me down. And I'm like, why? Like, why would you ever do that? I learned this lesson early. I was working at Savills years ago, and I called Barclays. I'm not even sure what the situation was, right? But it was a mortgage application with Barclays. And I gave this guy like both barrels down the phone. Yeah. And he's like, thank you so much for that. And I was like, why? What's that? And he goes, well, you've just really helped me reprioritize my day, and I've put you at the bottom. And yes. You know what? And I was like, do you know what? Number
that guy
one,
taught you such a lesson.
Number one,
yeah.
Thank you, mate. Like, and
that's priceless.
But you know how many people would have taken that as, right, you're a dick and I now don't like you. It's like, no, take responsibility.
Kind of humbled you a bit, right?
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, like, yeah. Great. And this is over 10 years ago, I'm still talking about it now. Yeah. It was a lesson. Yeah. And I think that it doesn't matter how long you've been in this industry, right? You're learning lessons every single day. Yeah. 18 years, next year's gonna be 19 years. Yeah. Grand Union Finance is gonna be 6 next year. Like, we have been doing this a long time. I've got a team of brokers that are really experienced. Our mantra is like, we learn. We constantly learn. We learn from each other. We learn from lenders. We don't go to lenders and impose our will on them. Yeah. We say to them, right, how do we work best together? How are we going to collaborate to get the right the right outcome for our clients ultimately, because it all comes down to the client at the end of the day. You know, the lender relationship and the inter-team relationship is massively important. But the better you can work with lenders, the more they're going to bend over backwards. We have lenders come to us and say, we are going to create a product that's just available for you guys because we want to do more work with you because of the way that you work.
Yeah, I hear you. So it actually opens more doors, right? So again, we're talking about good practices and why does that matter? And because actually then that happens, right?
Precisely. And that's we're not doing it for that. What we're doing it for is that with what they're already doing, we do it to the best of our ability.
It's a fantastic byproduct, right?
Exactly. And then it comes about, and then obviously that's something that can then be passed over to the client. And
put you ahead of the game, put you ahead of other brokers. Yeah.
And you know what, like, it's, I don't know how to position this. It's not about like trying to be better than other brokers. It is to a degree. I look at other brokers in my industry and I know some of the ones that are not doing things the way that I personally believe they should be done. I saw one recently. I'm like, I wonder if somebody's told you that I've mentioned your name to them. And about just something I know that he did really, really terribly a few years ago when I was sitting in an office with him. But then there are some others that are amazing. And I talk to these people quite frequently and I love it. I feel like we're like in from tennis point of view, it's like the Nadal, Federer, Djokovic type. Like, how good would they have been if they didn't have each other? And so I look at some of the other like giants in our industry and I'm like, right, you've just done this freaking awesome thing. How do I be better? It's the Gary Vee thing. You know, if you want to build the biggest tower, build the biggest tower. Don't knock everyone else's down. So I'm constantly looking at, right, how can I build my tower bigger? Because it's not because I'm trying to knock other people's down. I feel like some of them will knock down their own towers.
Yeah.
But if we just constantly get better and better and better and better at what we do, we keep refining, we keep improving, we keep getting better, the client ultimately gets a better service. And the distinction between ourselves and some of the, you know, older brokers that are maybe, you know, still lingering around in our industry, the distinction will get bigger and bigger and bigger. What I love, one of my favorite things, and this is not to gloat, this is just a genuine thing that I hear, which I feel incredibly grateful for, is I'll start finishing a call with a client for the first time. They're like, I've never spoken to a broker and had a conversation like that before.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so communication.
That is like, honestly, hairs back on my neck is standing up just thinking about like over the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple of people say that, and it's just so awesome. And you must get the same, you know? Yeah,
absolutely. Particularly in an industry where there are so many bad practices, same in the legal industry. And you were saying about how like that guy at Barclays said to you, you know, now you're the bottom of my list. We have it. If brokers rude to us, sometimes we get this, unfortunately with Barclays ILAs, they won't release the paperwork for a long time. So the brokers get angry, but we're doing everything we can. And we've had it recently, and a broker really was rude to my team. And I would just, actually Luke, my co-founder, replied and was just like, explain the situation, explain that we've done everything. We're working to the same goal as you, but if you talk to our team one more time like that, we'll stop working for you. And you'll have to then go back to the beginning with another law firm because they will experience the exact same process because that's Barclays' process. And we'll really like kind of say that because it's like, there's a fine line, isn't there, between us offering good practice, us offering fantastic communication, and then people just taking the piss out of us and being rude. It doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like bad practices, we're seeing, I mean, I've seen many times lenders talk about that mass CC thing, and I don't know why brokers are still doing that. I mean, I'm a lawyer and I still see that happening. You've spoken about like, rubbish communication. And then so on the flip side, the kind of good practices we've just touched on, even through the opposite of the bad ones. But you also spoke about, I think, alluding to like collaboration with people who are at the top or people who are going where you want to go. Kind of one of my favorite quotes is, don't ask someone for directions who's never been where you want to go. So I don't do that. But if people have been to where I want to go, I'm like, tell me more. Tell me more. So I don't know if that's one of your like good practices.
So this doubles onto like another one, which is that I never try to burn bridges, like no matter what. And I got fired from a brokerage once. I got reinstated the next day and said no thank you because, you know, I'm a badass.
See ya.
But the MD, he's no longer the MD of that company, but the MD who was the MD at the time, who I got on with incredibly well, I still chat to him now, and that was it's going to be 10 years ago next year that I left that firm. And we voice note every now and again. He lives in Monaco now, and like I always make a point of If I see that he's done something really awesome, because he's doing some really awesome things. You don't live in Monaco, not do awesome things, right?
I went there and he bankrupted me. I was like, what is this place and why do they think it's so expensive? And people, it was after MIPIM. That's right, isn't it? People were like, it's because it's like you have to be a billionaire to live here. I was like, by day 2, I was like drinking water and bread. So yeah, sorry, that was my little divergent on Monaco.
I send him a message and like just saying like this looks great, like well done. Like, and I do that quite a lot. I like to just remind people. I think this isn't just like a broker best practice. I think this is just a human being best practice. Like if you see someone doing someone good, remind them, tell them. If you experience some good quality service, like tell somebody about it. I wasn't going to say this on the podcast today, but hey ho, we pull these things out. I had to go and get some desks.
I'm nervous. What are we going to say?
No,
what are you going to say? You started saying Dean. I was like, I had to go get some what?
It's nothing bad. Nothing bad at all. I had to go and get some desks from IKEA, life of business owner. It was such a stressful situation that I feel like I needed to say well done to myself for going through that. So I went and got some fried chicken. So I'm standing in Popeyes.
Popeyes? What even is that? Like a knockoff KFC?
Mate, Popeyes is amazing. You need to try Popeyes. It's so good. Their hot honey burgers, amazing. Anyway, so I'm in there and clearly I've been standing there waiting for quite some time. And this woman, and she, and I hope she's not watching this because she might be offended, but she can't have been any younger than like late 40s, early 50s. And she came out from around the thing. She's like, you've been waiting here a long time. And I was just like, yeah, but it's cool. Like you're busy. It's fine. Again, treat people nicely. You don't have to shout and scream. Yeah, I've been waiting here for freaking ages, but like 3.5 minutes now. Don't need to do that, do you? So I was like, yeah, cool. Like, I could see they were busy. I could see they were stressed. And she was like, look, I'm really, really sorry that you've been waiting here for so long. Let me chuck something in for free for you. And I was like, you don't have to do that. And then she reeled through some stuff. She got some mac and cheese. I'm like, yeah, go on then. So I had a little pot of mac and cheese. Then it wasn't like number got called out, go to the thing. She came out and gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I sent a message to Popeyes and told them. I didn't know what her name was, but I described her. I told them what branch it was. And I really hope that message got back to her.
Yeah.
Or she's now running the place because she probably should be. I don't know if you do this as well, but I constantly evaluate people on whether or not I'd hire them or not, like in every walk of life that I'm in.
I don't know about that, Sam. I don't know, but on that topic though, what it has got me evaluating that is I don't know, correct me if you're wrong or see if this lands with you. I see a lot of brokers as well being really stressed about, like deals not completing on time, maybe because of lawyers or lenders or things that are happening. And so maybe the lender's getting like the hassle and the heat from the client. Maybe the lender made a mistake. So in that scenario, I'm thinking like, what's your views on just owning up when you've done something wrong? Like she did, right? We've done something, we're delayed, sorry.
100%.
How does a broker, again, maybe a broker listening to this who is an aspiring broker, is like, why isn't my business running how it wants to run? What's your view on that in terms of a practice? How do we deal with that?
So there's a couple of things. And I think, number one, we learn from our mistakes. We're taught at school that mistakes are bad. That is incorrect.
Yeah, get a big red cross.
Yeah, any teachers watching this change. Just change.
Being so shit.
Just stop doing that because it is the most ridiculous thing. Also, like let people cheat. Like just look over, get ahead. Right. That's you want. It's about the end.
But looking in to see how did they do it.
It's about the end result. Yeah. How did they do it? They know more than me. Right. So how am I going to help myself get to that level as well? Anyway, we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So internally at Grand Union Finance, we have a very, 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 very open culture, which is that it doesn't matter whether you've been here for 2 years or 2 minutes. If you make a mistake, no matter how big or small, we share it with the group. Everyone gets to know about it so that it's not a pointing the finger, ha ha ha, you've made an error. It's I found something new out that I want to make sure I'm sharing with you guys so that we could all learn from this. It's it's black books.
How did you cultivate that for people to feel comfortable sharing?
I share
mine. You share yours?
I share mine.
You make at least 10 mistakes a day.
I did it the other day because I haven't been doing a lot of brokering, but we've been so busy recently. I've had to get back into actually doing the day-to-day brokering. I had a client ring me. He's like, you keep sending me emails saying sign your terms of business, but I haven't received a set of terms of business from you. And I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I didn't send you the terms of business. Like I just forgot. Even I do it sometimes. And I told the whole team. I was like, by the way, guys. The boss has just made a mistake.
Before you send a reminder, check you've done the thing you're reminding people about, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I think we cultivate that culture. That's been a day one thing because it's carrot stick stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're carrot not stick. And then what happens is I feel like that automatically fleshes out into the wider way in which we go about business.
Sure.
So lender first, if we say to lenders, if you're not happy with the way we're going about something, or we could do something differently to make your life easier, tell us. Like, we want to continually get back. That process that I talked to you about earlier, that funding proposal that we put together, that is off the back of deal after deal after deal after deal, asking for feedback. Are we doing a better job? Pretty much, I don't do it as often as I used to. I try and do it as often as I possibly can. At some point throughout the process of applying for funding, I will try and get on the phone to every single client and just check in with them. And I always ask them, if you could just think of one thing, I mean, if you can think of more, fair play, but if you can think of just one thing that we could do differently to make things better, what would it be? And I honestly, people are so shocked to hear it. And they'll be like, no, Sam, like, I'm really happy. This is great. I'm like, no. All right, if you're happy, that's even more of a reason why you should delve deep into, no matter how small. It's why we send our terms of business out on Adobe Sign, because someone was like, once, I had to sign quite a lot of stuff and I had to print it out, and it delayed me because I didn't have a printer. I had to go somewhere and get it. I'm like, okay, cool. So digital signatures, okay. Like, all of these things come off. Someone said, I had to send you quite a lot of documents and it was quite confusing doing it on email. Yeah. Great, let's have an online portal where people can upload it that way, and you can do that on your phone. Yeah. So it makes it easier to do that. So everything that we do is a direct result of getting that feedback. And I think, again, that all comes back down to the constant feedback loop, the having the genuine every day, just trying to get better and better and better and better at what we do. And you only get better by making mistakes. So you have to embrace those mistakes. But when those mistakes happen that can cause an issue with the client, you have to own up to them, but have a ready-made solution, I think, is the most important thing. Try and paint it in a positive light. Look, we're sorry that this has happened. It's frustrating. This is the reason that led up to it. And this is the way that we've solved this problem for you. But I think that comes down to just a bigger communication piece anyway, which is that I do think, the two things that clients constantly, when you look at Facebook, Instagram, whatever, people complain about getting finance, it's paperwork and lack of comms, right? So we have like a strict like core value, which is, if we can get, like, our goal is to get through a whole application without the client having to do one piece of paperwork. That's like a strict like that's a minimum standard that we're trying to achieve on everything we do. And the comms has to be so good. We have some communication policies with clients, which is what and why. So a lot of people will communicate what is happening. We have to communicate also why it is happening, to give them a full understanding as to the reasons behind certain things being asked of the client.
Yeah, I mean, I know you do that with, like, I know it's like not necessarily for the application phase, but I know you do that with ILA. So you're one of our partners, and there's not many brokerages who are this proactive. Actually, I don't think any of them have, where you were like, okay, well, this is the email we're going to send out, that each phase you have this. So really kind of, maybe even sharing your insights, like, fantastic stuff, but actually showcasing how awesome you are, where you have this, you've preempted the problem. Clients are coming to us like, shit, my broker didn't tell me, my solicitor didn't tell me I complete in an hour. Whereas I believe you've got a template that goes out that's like, in the next stage, you've got a buy-to-let facility, you're going to be giving a personal guarantee, you're going to need ILA. Here it is. That's it. And you just preempted it instead of it being 6 months down the line when it's
Do you know where this all comes back to? It's empathy.
Yeah.
So it's actually understanding that the client has 907 different things that they're trying to figure out all at one time. You've just had a conversation with them at the beginning of the process. And I mean, maybe some brokers don't do this, but we will outline everything. We'll go through, like, this is what's going to happen, then this is going to happen, then this is, and then I'll always finish it with, and by the way, I'm not expecting you to remember every single part of that, because one of our other communication policies is now, later, next, now, next, later, sorry, all the way around. So what's happening now, what's happening next, what's happening after that, the next 3 steps. So we're constantly doing that at every single point to make sure that they just know what's coming up. We're just signposting things constantly, because all of us have stuff going on in our daily life, and we can't always remember every single thing, every single piece of information, particularly if it's something that's quite technical. So it's just having that empathy for the client's situation, Also really understanding as well that their window of tolerance, which is something I've learned about quite recently, which I'm loving, is, on any given day might be slightly smaller than it was the day before. So just
music to my ears, window of tolerance. You're talking in my languages.
Just being understanding, right?
Work.
Just being understanding of a situation. There's a thing that I do that my missus finds hilarious, which is I have zero road rage.
Yeah.
But the reason I have zero road rage is because if some punk cuts me up in their little Corsa, I just go, well, his wife's in labour. And they have to get to the hospital like ASAP, or their house is on fire and they've got to get home as quickly as they possibly can. And then guess what happens? Gone.
Do you know what you've just quoted there, Sam?
Go on.
There's a book that's written on the Buddha and it's called The Art of Living.
Really?
And the Buddha talks
I haven't even read this book.
He's the Buddha. Yeah, the Buddha talks
Shave
on
my head.
this.
Shave my head, wear a robe.
Yeah, the Buddha talks on it. It was a really epic
The Buddha
book.
Broker.
The Buddha Broker. Yeah.
My next book coming out soon. In time for Christmas. Get it on Amazon.
In time for Christmas. Bloody hell. That's like the lifetime work of the Buddha and you've done it in a week.
I know.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Buddha talks this. I mean, slight deviation, but I just feel like I have to complete this now. And he basically says, like, if you're on a bus, right, and there's a man with his children and the children are screaming and he's like, shut the fuck up, and it's all going like, and you're like, oh God, but his wife actually died last week.
Yeah.
And he's doing his best, like, and when you start seeing the world like that, like, it really switches a lot of things, which actually links back to everything you've just spoken about in terms of how we're interacting with people, because obviously we often hear like, be kind, and I think it's said so much, people eye roll, but actually if we look at, like you said, in terms of like processes, procedures, how we're communicating. And actually then if people are listening, like, I'm not really into be kind, I'm into making money, it helps you make money, And that's also a key thing. If you're not interested in that, then this stuff, the systems, the processes, the communication, the best practices is how people are generating wealth in successful businesses. I mean, as we're coming to the end, I want to know, because there's obviously probably so many, but if we've missed any that you're like burning desire to tell me any other really terrible or really good practices that you want to box off. I mean, these have all been amazing, but if there's anything else you want to bring forward.
God, I think that I kind of started with the worst.
Yeah.
So you kind of got
done
me.
That one. Did the juicy juice.
Put me on the spot. I think, look, if you're a investor watching this, not necessarily a broker, if you're an investor watching this, I'll just sort of say maybe just sense check any person that you're doing a bit of business with. Just getting a referral review from somebody else that's worked with them, I think is just so important, because I think and I'm sure it's the same in your industry, the same as mine, many service-based industries, it is relatively easy to maybe like not pull the wool over people's eyes in terms of what's going on in the background, but I guess be open to transparency. That's a weird, like, almost double positive. Listen, when you're working with someone that's really engaging and telling you about what's happening behind the scenes, we do so much at the front end where we tell clients, right, this is this person's responsibility. This is what they're going to do. This person in the team is going to then go off and do this, and this person's doing this. We give them all those mechanics in the background to show complete transparency. Also, it shows where their money's going. It shows them why they're paying us a fee to do what we do. So I think, do that. And from a brokering perspective, if you're working within a company right now that you see any of those practices going on, get out. Like, you've already learned the biggest lesson you're going to learn there, which is don't do this shit, and bring me and come and work for me.
So, and I hear someone's an epic brokerage is hiring. So
we're always, do you know what? We're always hiring good brokers.
Yeah, nice.
Because, and there's two reasons. One, obviously we're very busy. We've got good capacity. Like, we want to keep increasing our capacity. But one of my biggest things, and one of the reasons I started Grand Union, is because I wanted to create the best place for brokers, good brokers in our industry to go and work, because I've worked at so many bad ones. I wanted to make a home where people feel comfortable, valued, and feel like they constantly can be developed, improve, work with amazing people, have a great environment to work in. And as I said, just be valued. So that's a little stream that runs all the way through everything that we do internally. Is just everyone be valued. Everyone's got a voice. So if that sounds good to you, people,
wink at the camera,
give me a call.
Yeah, and I love that, Sam, and I know that to be true of you. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. And if people do want to speak to you, either just generally about the best practices, anything you've raised, or if they want to find out more about any cheeky jobs going, but where do people get hold of you? How's the best way to contact you?
Probably best things on Instagram. I'm on there like all day, every day.
Drop me the handle.
Yeah.
The Sam Norris.
At the Sam Norris. Not to be confused with any other Sam Norrises.
You like I didn't intro you that way. Sam Norris.
I'm really annoyed because the person that has at Sam Norris literally doesn't post or do anything.
It happens all the time.
And I contacted them originally like, can I just buy this off you? And they didn't even reply. Because guess what? Because they weren't even on Instagram. They just took it. So I thought it was like Sam Norris official, didn't like that.
Yeah.
The Sam Norris, that'll do.
Yeah, so the Sam Norris.
No, just the Sam Norris.
There's not even dot. The
No
Sam
dots.
Norris. If
The
you want to get
Sam
hold of
Norris.
Sam.
And that, to be honest, that's across all platforms.
Yeah.
It's the same.
And then website for
grandunion.finance.
Fantastic.
Nice and easy.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us, Sam.
Cheers, buddy.
Been an epic episode, and get ready to tune into the next one soon. Mwah.